Hello everybody, Duncan Shea here. Welcome to the episode of Dylan's Disney Movie Reviews. What can you say about the Broadway musical Annie? Set during the Great Depression in 1933 New York City, an 11-year-old girl named Annie Bennett is waiting for her parents to take her home. One day, she gets invited to stay with billionaire Arthur Warbucks at his mansion. He soon opens his heart to Annie and wants to adopt her, but she tells him that she's been waiting for her parents for 11 years. So he announces an award of $50,000 for any couple who can prove that they're Annie's parents. Which leads to a fake couple named Ralph and Shirley Mudge, who are actually Daniel Rooster Hannigan, the brother of the orphanage's cruel owner, Miss Agatha Hannigan, and his partner Lily, to try to kidnap Annie for the money. There have been some film adaptations of the musical over the years, but the two that are best known are the 1982 film with Aileen Quinn, the late Albert Finney, Carol Burnett, and Ryan King, Tim Curry, Bernadette Peters, and the late Edward Herrmann, which got mixed reviews and bombed at the box office. The other well-known one is the one from 2014 starring Quiven Zane Wallace, Jamie Foxx, Rose Byrne, Cameron Diaz, and Bobby Cannavale, which got some bad reviews from critics but was pretty successful at the box office. However, between those two adaptations, The Wonderful World of Disney made a television adaptation of the musical, which happens to be what I'm reviewing this week. Released to ABC on November 7th, 1999, the movie is Annie. The film opens in 1933 New York City during the Great Depression, where at the New York City Municipal Orphanage, Annie Bennett, played by Alicia Morton, is waiting for her parents to take her home. Another girl in the dormitory named Molly, played by Sarah Hyland, has a nightmare and wants her parents.
Molly, we ain't got mommies and daddies. And we ain't never gonna have them. That's why we're called orphans.
I'm not an orphan. My parents are alive and they're coming to get me someday. Yeah, and Annie's got a note that proves it.
Annie then reads the letter from her parents.
Please take good care of our little darling. Her name is Annie. She was born
on October the 28th. We will be back to get her soon. We have cut half of the silver locket around her neck and cut the other half, so that when we come back for her, you will know that she's our baby.
Do you want to sleep with your teeth inside your mouth or out? Now get to sleep. I know these don't mean anything to you, but they're everything to me. They're proof I got parents.
As the other girls go back to sleep, Annie sings a song called Maybe.
Maybe far away, or maybe real nearby. He may be pouring her coffee. She may be straightening his tie. Maybe in a house all hidden by a hill. She's sitting playing piano. He's sitting paying a bill. Betcha they're young. Betcha they're smart. Bet they collect things like ashtrays and art. Betcha they're good. Why shouldn't they be? Their one mistake was giving up me.
After the song, Annie tries to go out to find her parents again, but then Miss Agatha Hannigan, played by Kathy Bates, catches her, takes her back up to the dormitory, wakes up the other girls, and forces them to do chores in the middle of the night.
What do you say?
We love you, Miss Hannigan.
And I love you. Now, scrub these floors. Strip them beds for the laundryman. Get to work. Now!
Then comes the song, It's the Hard Knock Life.
Got no folks to speak of, so it's the hard knock row-we-ho.
Cotton blankets,
Instead of wool,
empty bellies.
instead of full, it's the hard knock life.
Don't it feel like the wind is always howling?
Don't it seem like there's never any light? Once a day, don't you want to throw the towel in? It's easier than putting up a fight.
No one's there when your dreams at night get creepy. No one cares if you grow or if you shrink. No one dries when your eyes get wet and weepy.
From the crying, you would think this place would take off.
After the song, Miss Hannigan returns, and Mr. Bundles, played by Ernie Sabella, best known for voicing Pumbaa from the Lion King franchise, arrives with clean sheets for the girls' beds.
Oh, Miss Haggy, I live for laundry day here at your fine establishment.
Bundles. You're full of applesauce.
While Mr. Bundles and Miss Hannigan are talking, Annie gets into the laundry basket, and then Mr. Bundles takes her out, and she goes looking for her parents. She then sees a vendor selling ears of corn for a nickel. While the vendor's not looking, Annie steals an ear of corn and runs away with it. Annie, do you know how much trouble you would have got into if he caught you stealing that? I know you're hungry, but you still shouldn't steal.
Don't you even think about... Ow! Fighting me! The last of them.
Good. Right. All right, thanks. All right, let's drop these at the pound and take our lunch break somewhere warm.
How about Florida?
Yeah.
She then meets a stray dog.
What's wrong? Are they chasing you because you're looking for your mom and dad too? Don't worry. It's gonna be okay. Sometimes it seems like the only thing you've got is trouble.
Then comes the song Tomorrow.
The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh.
A police officer then shows up and tries to take the dog in.
Oh, you don't have to turn him in, officer. See, he's my dog.
Really? Well, how come I seen him around and not you?
Me? Well, I don't get out much.
Well, what's your dog's name?
Name? Well, that's easy. I call him Sandy. That's right, Sandy, because his fur's a nice sandy color.
Sandy, huh? Well, why don't you call him?
Call him?
Yeah, by his name. Sandy.
Gee, I would. Only sometimes Sandy forgets his name is Sandy. Right, Sandy?
Just call your dog.
So Annie calls Sandy.
Sandy. Here, Sandy. Come on, boy. That a boy. Good, Sandy.
All right, then. Next time I see you, Sandy better have a leash and license. Otherwise, he goes to the pound for an eternal sleep.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow then continues as Annie and Sandy take a walk.
When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh. The sun'll come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may.
Later that night, the same officer sees Annie and Sandy. The latter still doesn't have a license, so Annie runs off.
Wait a minute! Get back here!
The officer soon catches her and takes her back to the orphanage, and Miss Hannigan acts nice around him.
Of all my little girls, Annie here is my favorite. Thanks so much for bringing her back.
Well, seeing as she means that much to you, ma'am, I guess I don't mind that I spent the whole night chasing after her.
Well, if there's anything I can do to repay you, officer.
Well, actually, there is.
Uh-huh.
It was this mangy mutt with her that got away. He comes sniffing around, give a holler, and he's off to the pound.
Oh, yes, sir. You can count on me, sir. For anything. Ta-ta!
Miss Hannigan takes Annie inside and tries to think of a punishment for her. The other girls tell her they saw a mouse.
A mouse!
Do I look like the exterminator?
There it is! Up there! No! It's there! I tell you, it's there!
Out of my sight! Amaya! Scram!
Ow!
She then goes to her room and comes a song called Little Girls.
Little girls, everywhere I turn, I can see them. Little girls, night and day, I eat, sleep, and breathe them. I'm an ordinary woman with feelings. I like a man to nibble on my ear, but I'll admit, no man has bit. So how come I'm the mother of the year?
After the song, Miss Hannigan forces Annie to scrub the whole place with a toothbrush as punishment. Suddenly, a woman named Grace Farrell, played by Audra McDonald, who is Oliver Warbucks' secretary, has come to the orphanage with an invitation from Mr. Warbucks for any orphan in the place and suggests Annie.
Great idea. I'm a child and I'm an orphan.
Elia. Annie ain't no orphan. She's my little girl, and she's nothing but trouble.
That seems hard to believe.
Look, you can have any orphan in the joint, only you can't have Annie.
If this has something to do with the laundry or the police, perhaps the Board of Orphans should know.
She's all yours. Merry Christmas.
Good. You'll just sign the paperwork and get Annie's coat.
Coat? Why would a kid need a coat?
We'll buy you one at Bergdorf's on the way uptown.
Really?
Bergdorf's? Well, ain't we fancy?
You'll never guess what happened. I get to go away for Christmas. Yay!
Annie's then taken to Mr. Warbucks' mansion, where she meets all the servants.
Annie, this is everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Did Mr. Warbucks' plane arrive yet?
Oh, he called from Teterboro. His airplane has been delayed, but he's on his way. May I take your coat, miss?
Will I get it back?
Of course you will, honey.
Miss Farrell then asks Annie what she would like to do first, and Annie mentions scrubbing the floors and washing the windows. But Miss Farrell tells her that she's come there to have fun, and comes the song, I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here.
Cecile will pick out all your clothes.
You mean I get to wear new things?
Your bath is drawn by Mrs. Greer.
Really? A bath all for me?
Annette comes in to make your bed.
I get my own bed too? I think I'm gonna like it here.
The swimming pool is is to the left.
A pool? Inside?
The tennis court is in the rear.
Gee, I don't know how to play.
Have an instructor here at noon. You'll be playing like a pro in no time.
I think I'm gonna like it here.
When you wake, ring for Drake. Drake will bring your tray. When you're through, Mrs. Pugh comes to take it away.
After the song, Andy meets Mr. Warbucks himself, played by Victor Garber, who just returned from a trip and is shocked about Andy being the orphan invited to his house because he was expecting a boy.
You didn't specify boy, sir.
Gee, Mr. Warbucks, sir. That's okay. You can trade me in for a boy. I really like seeing your house. It sure is big.
Annie, I couldn't be more delighted that you'll be spending Christmas here with me in my big house.
Miss Farrell and Annie then follow Mr. Warbucks into his office, and Annie says she'd like to watch him work.
Fine. Sometime when I'm not busy.
Sir, you're never not busy.
Oh. All right. Well, that's about it. Goodbye.
Couldn't I watch just a few more minutes?
Mr. Warbucks then talks to President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the phone, and they talk about factories shutting down because of the Great Depression, and invites him and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt to spend Christmas with him at his house.
Excellent. He said yes.
That's wonderful news.
So the President of the United States is coming to your house for Christmas?
For Christmas dinner. I wonder what Democrats eat.
Let's go out and celebrate with Annie. We'll show her the town.
Too much work, Grace.
That's okay, sir. I've never seen New York before, so I'm just as happy to watch you work.
You're telling me you live in New York City and haven't seen the place?
Miss Hannigan.
She runs the orphanage.
Annie then asks Mr. Warbucks what New York City is like, and comes the song NYC.
NYC. I go years without you, and I can't get enough.
During the song, Mr. Warbucks and Miss Farrell take Annie out to see the city.
NYC. You make 'em all postcards.
You crowd, you cramp, you're still the champ. Amen for NYC. The shimmer of Times Square, the pulse,
The beat.
the drive, the city's bright as a penny arcade. It blinks, it tilts, it rains.
To think that I've lived here all of my life and never seen these things.
After the song, they pick up Sandy and then return to Mr. Warbucks' mansion.
Give in, don't fight. Good girl, good night. Sleep tight in
Sometime later, Miss Farrell goes to the orphanage and tells Miss Hannigan that Mr. Warbucks wants to adopt Annie.
Ain't she the lucky one? Yes, well, if you'll just sign here. Sure, would you excuse me for one moment, please? Now, where were we?
Miss Farrell then leaves, and Miss Hannigan's brother, Daniel Francis Rooster Hannigan, and his girlfriend, Lily St. Regis, played by Alan Cumming and Christian Chenoweth, respectively, arrive.
Real nice place you got here.
Sure, every day I get down on my knees and pray. Why me?
Gee, I don't know.
Spill it, Rooster. What do you want?
Me and Lily was in the neighborhood and, $10 to tide me over.
$10? I ain't got 10 cents. Get out and take the St. Regis here with you.
Hey, wait a minute.
You mean after all your crooked schemes, all you got is lint in your pockets?
Look who's talking.
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
I know, sis. You're doing like I'm doing it.
Lousy.
Then comes the song Easy Street.
Easy Street, Easy Street, where you sleep till noon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She'd repeat, Easy Street, better get there soon.
During the song, Rooster asks Aggie who the lady in the car was.
Personal secretary to Oliver Warbucks.
The Oliver Warbucks? The millionaire?
No, the billionaire, you dumb hotel. Lives up on Fifth Avenue.
Hey, Warbucks don't live on Fifth Avenue.
He don't? Where does he live?
Easy Street, Easy Street.
Aggie then tells them that Mr. Warbucks is going to adopt Annie, and now she'll be getting everything she wants, which they find unfair.
It ain't fair how we scrounge for $3 or $4. While she gets Warbucks.
The little brat. It ain't fair. This here life is driving me nuts. While we get peanuts, she's living fat.
Maybe she holds the key, this little lady.
To getting more bucks.
Instead of less.
Maybe we fix the game with something shady.
Where would that put us?
Tell her.
Give you one guess.
Yes! Easy Street, Easy Street. Annie is the key.
Yes, sirree.
Yes, sirree.
At Mr. Warbucks' mansion, he tells Annie that he was an orphan as well.
I lost my parents when I was very young, and, well, from that day on, I vowed to work very hard and become very rich.
And that's just what he did.
Yes. But Annie, I never realized.
Until he met you.
Exactly. I mean, what's life about if you don't have anyone to share it with? Do you follow me?
Sure. No, not really.
Oh.
He then gives Annie a new locket to replace her old one, but she doesn't want to replace it because her parents left it to her, and tells Mr. Warbucks that she wants her parents. So he says he'll find them, but he needs her old locket and the note to do so.
Annie, if Mr. Warbucks says he can find your parents, he will. Even if he has to pull every string right up to the President of the United States.
Thank you, sir.
Annie, we're going to find your parents. We are.
Annie then writes a letter to the girls at the orphanage telling them about this. Later, they hear about it on the radio and that Mr. Warbucks is offering anybody $50,000 to prove that they are Annie's parents.
Good night. My favorite. You're a bunch of saps. Who cares if Annie was on the radio? I do. Me too. I think it'd be fun to be on the radio.
And comes the song, You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile.
Your clothes may be full bromely. They stand on a mob, but probably you're never fully dressed without a smile. Who cares what they're wearing on Main Street or Savile Row? It's what you wear from ear to ear and not from head to toe. That matters.
After the song, Miss Hannigan returns and they tell her about the $50,000 reward for finding Annie's parents and she sends them to bed.
Well, what about our dinner?
What about it?
You didn't give us any.
Because I knew you was going to be bad tonight, so I punished you ahead of time. Now scatter. $50,000 reward. Why, I hate that kid so much I could be a mother.
Suddenly, Rooster and Lily come in pretending to be Annie's parents, but Miss Hannigan knows it's them and Rooster tells her his plan.
We're gonna fool Warbucks and grab those 50 G's.
You and every other con artist this side of the Hudson.
Yep, but those other cons ain't got an artiste working over in Brooklyn making fake birth certificates.
Keep talking.
And those other cons ain't got a sister who knows all there is to know about the kid.
Yeah, I know all about Annie. I also know Miss St. Regis here ain't got the brains for the job. She makes one slip and we all end up behind bars for life.
Yeah, you're right. Lily's out.
And I'm in. Sorry, sister. And now about the 50 grand. Here's the split. Half for me, half for you two.
Deal.
Hey, way to gosh darn minute.
You want to be cut out of the deal completely?
Heck no.
Then stop whining.
At Mr. Warbucks' mansion, many people arrive saying they're Annie's parents, but they're all fakes.
Did they show up yet?
It appears that everyone who claims they were your parents are fakes.
Oh. Well, I'm sure my real parents will show up. Maybe they missed their train or got lost or something.
Just then, Mr. Warbucks gets a note from the FBI.
Between 1918 and 1924, 90,000 of Annie's type of locket were made and sold. The FBI says it's impossible to trace your parents through it. I'm so very sorry.
Drake, let's you and I check on the Christmas menu.
Annie then tells Mr. Warbucks that he tried his best and he got everything he wanted, but he tells her that that's not true, and comes the song Something Was Missing.
I've made me a fortune, that fortune made 10, been headlined and profiled again and again. But something was missing, I never quite knew. That something was someone, but who? My speeches are greeted with thunderous acclaim, at 2 universities bearing my name. Yes, something was missing each time I got through. That something was someone, but who?
He then dances with Annie and asks her if she would like him to adopt her.
It's just that I love my real mother and father so much. I don't know if I could love anybody else.
I understand. But if you could find a place in your heart for me.
Mr. Warbucks then calls for Miss Farrell.
Yes, Mr. Warbucks. Is everything all right?
Couldn't be better. Telephone Justice Brandeis and ask him to come over to sign the adoption papers.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Oh, Mr. Warbucks, that's wonderful news. When shall I tell the judge to come?
Well, Grace, it's Christmas Eve. Let's have the adoption tonight. And a big party as well. Tell Mrs. Pugh to order in flowers, champagne, caviar.
And ice cream and roasted corn.
Did you hear the little lady? Ice cream and roasted corn and all the Christmas decorations left in the city of New York.
Yes, sir.
And Grace, please extend our invitation to everyone in the house.
Miss Grace, will you be there too? Because it's really nice when you're both together.
Grace, will you join us?
Well, I'd be honored.
Wonderful. Let's get ready.
The servants then get the house ready for Christmas.
Mr. Warbucks, the house is ready.
Drake, it's never looked better. You've really outdone yourself this time.
Thank you, sir.
Then comes the song, I Don't Need Anything But You.
Together at last, together forever, we're tying a knot they never can sever. I don't need sunshine now to turn my skies to blue. I don't need anything but you. You've wrapped me around that cute little finger. You've made life a song. You've made me the singer.
And what's that bathtub tune you always boo-boo-boo?
Anything but you.
After the song, Justice Brandeis, played by Kurt Knudsen, arrives, and so do the Hannigan siblings, pretending to be Annie's parents.
We're Ralph and Shirley Mudge.
Ain't she cute, Ralph?
Oh, she's a regular doll.
Annie Mudge?
Sandy, shh, be polite.
Drake, please. Perhaps we should discuss this privately.
So they go into Mr. Warbucks' office, and the Hannigans show Mr. Warbucks a fake birth certificate as well as the other half of Annie's locket.
Look, Ralphie.
The locket.
She's wearing it.
Perfect fit. So if you just get Annie's things, we'll be on our way.
Mr. Mudge, what about the money?
Oh, of course you'll be wanting something for having taken care of her. Well, we ain't got much, but,
You didn't know that Mr. Warbucks was offering a $50,000 reward for the couple who can prove they're Annie's parents?
Yes?
Well, we sure don't want no money. We want our little girl. Come on, Pa.
They then ask about the reward money, and Mr. Warbucks says they will get it tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I'd like Annie to spend Christmas morning with us. If that suits you.
Oh, yes, please.
We've lived without her for 11 years. I guess one more night won't hurt. Come, Shirley.
Wait, just one more look at my sweet angel. She's a dream. A dream.
Come, let's join the rest of the guests. Tell them your wonderful news.
After that, the party continues, but Annie goes to her room. Miss Farrell follows her and comes a reprise of Tomorrow.
When you're stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, you just stick out your chin and grin and say, the sun'll come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. You're only a day
The next morning on Christmas, the Hannigans arrive for Annie.
Mr. and Mrs. Mudge.
You will let me keep him, won't you?
Why, of course. The only thing I love more than little girls is little dogs. Don't I, Ralphie?
Come on, Sandy.
Oh, well, we better be on our way with our little Annie.
And our little check.
So soon? Annie hasn't even opened her Christmas presents yet.
Sorry, we ain't got time.
Very well. If you'll come this way, we'll prepare the check.
At the orphanage, Lily plays poker with the girls. She loses and owes them $479.39.
What? Why am I gonna get that kind of loot? Hey, why am I worrying? I'll be rolling in it when Rooster and Hannigan get back from Warbucks. That's where Henny is. Oops. What's going on? Spill the beans. Nuh-uh. My lipstick is sealed. Yeah, but your purse ain't. Right now! Yeah, I'm sure the cops will be very interested in your fake ID. Out of my way! I want those back right now! Fess up! Okay! Rooster and Hannigan are pretending to be Annie's parents for the reward money. And when they get back, I'll be sitting large and living pretty. What makes you so sure they'll be coming back? Because I'm Rooster's date. He'd never let me take the rap and spend 3 months on Rikers Island. Again?
At Mr. Warbucks' mansion, he gives the Hannigans the check, and as they try to leave with Annie, Lily and the other girls arrive. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, played by Dennis Howard, then comes in and reveals who they really are.
Miss Agatha Hannigan and Daniel Francis Hannigan, also known as Rooster Hannigan, also known as Danny the Dip.
Also known as the Jig is Up, Rooster.
Lily St. Regis, also known as Miss Sadie Algonquin, also known as Phyllis the Filcher.
So Rooster and Lily are arrested, Miss Hannigan sent to the nut house, and FDR hands Mr. Warbucks a note saying,
The FBI were finally able to trace the handwriting on that note of yours to a David and Margaret Bennett.
You mean the Bennetts are my real parents? Where are they?
Annie, I'm sorry. It seems they passed away some time ago.
Annie's saddened by this, but she then looks on the bright side, and FDR promises that the other girls will be adopted.
And Annie picked out Christmas presents for all of you, and they're waiting underneath the Christmas tree.
Mr. Warbucks then proposes to Miss Farrell and tells Annie that he's going to adopt her. The film then ends with a reprise of I Don't Need Anything But You.
Together at last,
Together forever.
we're tying a knot they never can sever. I don't need sunshine now to turn my skies to blue. I don't need anything but you.
And that was Annie. My thoughts? It's very good. In the end, I give this film 4.5 stars out of 5. Well, that's it for Annie. Be sure to do an extra when I'll be reviewing the Disney Channel original movie that is the first time Mark Curry and Don Lewis worked together since Hangin' with Mr. Cooper Season 1. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell your friends about me, leave some questions in the comments below, subscribe, and hit that like button.
Annie, tell these people how good I always been to you, huh?
Miss Hannigan, I would. But the one thing you always taught me was never tell a lie.